Hello, welcome back to another junk video on my junk channel. So all my 13 viewers, or at least I think it's that's 12 because one of my followers is the main channel, so 12 followers. And today I want to give you a small update on my VAX power supply problem with the H7874. You see two of them here. Now I have three of them because when you follow my main channel, you know now I have an R400X DSSI expander, and the R400X DSSI expander needs also this power supply. And there's one advantage with that expander. I've got a working power supply. This is the power supply here on the left. Maybe you can see here is written R400X BA400 series. So this is the power supply of the expander, but this is the same power supply like all in the other machines. But now I need two power supplies, so I have only one working power supply at the moment. So there's still the problem that I need to bring these power supply here on the right back to life or back to working. Interestingly, here is the serial number. The serial number of the first power supply starts with 1, so it's 1,161,000. It's bigger, it's 11 million and so on. And the other power supply begins with 24 million and so on. I don't know how they count these numbers, but the number here on the power supply is twice as big than on the older one. And the R400X expander is made in the year 1992, and my VAX is made in 1990, so it's 2 years newer. So I think I'll make a lot of these power supplies. First, I want to have a look in the newer power supply just to check the usual suspects, the usual capacitors. And also I want to make some more high quality photos because maybe there is a bit difference in the power supply because it's a bit more modern. So let's open the power supply, and it's the same thing. Open the three screws and then remove the 4 cables or 5 cables inside. So let's open it. And there is the first cable. I think this power supply wasn't opened before because it's the cables are connected quite strong. The power supply wasn't turned on for several weeks, so I don't think there are any loaded capacitors inside after that long time. Yep. Yeah. Then, this is interesting. These are a bit different. See one major difference in that power supply. This is not the same. So one major difference is this cable is now this flat style, and in the other power supply it's that style over here. So let's have a look at the interesting capacitors, but I think looks all very good. They are okay. A few mentioned that this capacitor is called Sprake and not Sprague, so I'll call it Sprake now. But everything looks good. Chromatic capacitors are over here for 3.3 volts. This one for -12, and this one for 12 volts. And over there are also two 12-volt capacitors. But that's looked all very good. A bit different is here on this capacitor. They are also made by Sprake now, so that's another manufacturer. This capacitor is okay, and everything else looks very good as well. So internally there is not a big problem. I checked because I have to clean the R400X expander. Also I have to open the back cover, and then I have the possibility to see the back plane. and I've did several checks with it. So I've measured first the minus 12 and 12 volt output of the other power supply, and I recognized that there is maybe the voltage of the minus 12 volt while it gets too high while the power supply is running. Because of course my oscilloscope is not the best oscilloscope, but I've made a recording with a camera of the output, and I saw on two images that there is interesting behavior. First, there is a jump in the voltage at one place, and after that the machine turns off. And you can see that quite before the machine turns off, there's another jump. So I think the minus 12 volt voltage isn't very good at my other power supply. But there are now several possibilities what I can do now. Another thing I've checked is the pin out of the back connector here. So I've did several measurements, and now I know some of the pin outs over here from that connector, and now I can measure what is happening here on that board, and find out what this board is doing in detail, because most of the chips are voltage comparators. So I think it's possible to find out which part is controlling the voltage, and with that knowledge I have some possibilities on my other power supply. So first of all, the expander only needs 12 volt and 5 volt, so plus 12 volt and plus 5 volt, and minus 12 and minus 5 is not necessary for running the expander. So you can just buy two industrial power supplies with 5 volt and 12 volt and build a replacement for the expander, and then can run the expander with that hardware. But then I need a bit of build some extra stuff for the VANs and for the DSSI voltage okay signal, but this is possible. But the other possibility is to find out the issue with the minus 12 volt rail on my other power supply. So a few episodes before, I think it's the third part of the power supply video, I've bridged the MOSFET, this MOSFET here, which controls the voltage of minus 12, which is a step-down converter. But I've bridged it, and now the voltage of the minus 12 volt depends on the load of the 12 volt rail. So when the 12 volt rail load become higher, then the switching power supply switches faster, and when it switches faster and on the minus 12 volt is no load, the voltage of the minus 12 volt gets higher. Oh, I think it's lower because it's minus, so the total number of the voltage gets higher. So I can find out what is causing the problem with the MOSFET on the power supply. This is one possibility. Another possibility is to disable the minus 12 volt rail completely. So just remove the rectifier of the minus 12 volt rail, and then find out on the logic board which part controls the minus 12 volt rail, and bridge that part, and that all the logic does not detects the missing minus 12 volt, and then the power supply only provides 3.35 and 12 volt, but I can use the older power supply just in the expander, and the newer power supply in the VAX 4300. But I have to think what is the way I want to go in the future, because first of all I have to find out what is here on what's happening here on the logic. And I saw another difference. I think here on the other power supply, the cables here are covered with plastic, so they did not use this plastic anymore. That's also a difference there, but I will make detailed photos of the board of all boards, before I will close the cover again, just to see what are the main differences. But this is the current status of the power supply. I want to give you a brief update on the status of the power supplies and what's happening in the future and what's planning. So I think now I will build in this BA 400 or R400X expander power supply into the VAX 4300 to have a running VAX 4300, and then I will check out the minus 12 volt rail on the older power supply. Yeah, hope you found this update interesting, and you can leave comments down below, and see you in the next episode.